I have had an absolute nightmare, absolute nightmare. Many months ago, right, I booked this trip to come to Pakistan, and it's a charity trip. It's actually even before the floods happened. And I booked this trip months ago before even the season started, before obviously Sky had chosen which game they want. Turns out they've managed to televised the game at the exact time my second leg of my journey from Bahrain to Karachi has taken place. I spent the entirety of that game in the air, unable to watch it. And now I've just checked the score, absolutely buzzing Arsenal of 1-3-1. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get up to speed and I'll be right back and I'll give you my match review, albeit not having had watched the game, which is like madly frustrating to me. But still, we're top of the league. And if your team's top of the league, like this video. I'll be back in 1 second. As promised, I'm back and I am buzzing. Arsenal 3, Tottenham 1. And look, you know, I'm going to need your help here, right? Because I'm watching the games, I'm in the stadium, or I'm watching on TV, and I'm telling you what I thought were the key moments in the game, who the best players were, all the incidents, how I feel about them, that sort of thing. But now I need your help. So put in the comments below what you thought of the game, because listen, I've just tried to scramble together whatever highlights I can possibly watch, read up on whatever analysis I can watch, and watch the other uploads on my channel to see what they thought of the game. And to me, listen, it seems like this wasn't actually that much of a difficult game for Arsenal. When you look at the stats, the passes completed, possession, clearly, look, when they have a player sent off for half an hour, they are going to dominate. But ultimately, I don't really care about that. We did what we needed to do. I haven't actually been able to see a replay of that red card, so let me know whether you think that was a red or not. And also, I've only been able to see the goals. So the penalty that Gabriel gave away, should that have been a penalty to Tottenham or not? What I find frustrating is every single time we play Tottenham, they get a penalty. It's just like, honestly, so you start to think to yourself, what is going on here? Because, look, a lot of people in the comments might say, yes, Gabriel gave away the foul, but I'm just getting fed up of it, to be honest with you. It's like almost like a 1-goal head start they get. Thankfully, Hugo Lloris, with that absolute awful cock-up from Saka's shot, he sort of evened it up a little bit and gifted us a goal as well. But I'm really tired of Arsenal gifting Tottenham penalties. Thankfully, this time the red card we benefited from. Obviously, we remember last game, in the really important game last season where Rob Holding had a bit of a nightmare. But you know what? This fixture sort of mirrors last season, where Arsenal play at home, we win, and it's at a period of the season where, listen, every North London derby is crucial. But what was riding on the game at White Hart Lane was absolutely massive. That was one of the biggest North London derbies in years. This one's still very important, because whoever won this goes top of the league. And how many times in the Premier League has there been a game where both teams in the North London derby, if they win, can, you know, go top of the league, or in Arsenal case, stay top of the league? So again, a massive game, really important context around it. And Arsenal came out on top. And when I look at the stats of the game, when I try and look at the story of the game, and this is where I need your help, you can tell me whether I'm sort of gauging the game correctly without having watched the 90 minutes. It doesn't seem like Arsenal struggled in this game. When we look at pass completion, possession, the shots, it seems like actually this was a bit of domination. And yes, we had an extra man for half an hour, but even first half, to me, it seems like Arsenal did okay. What I've heard sort of anecdotally from what I've listened to, the other videos on my channel, for example, that maybe after Tottenham scored, it was a little bit, you know, up in the air, but Arsenal just powered through and shown we're the better team. I think the thing that we have to keep in context is that, yes, Arsenal tend to win when we're playing at the Emirates, and Tottenham tend to win when we play at White Hart Lane. So can we make sure that, you know, obviously we have to maintain that trend for us in the home fixture, but can we buck the trend when we go away from home? Because, look, you know, I want to take 6 points off of Tottenham. I want to go to their ground and beat them. I feel like we haven't done that in too long. So good that we did the job here, but that's what we expect as Arsenal fans. And we should expect that. We shouldn't get too overexcited about this. This is one of those games where players have to turn up. There's no excuses. I understand that you're going to have a couple of poor home games in a season, but not this one. This one, the fans put that pressure on the team, and today the team have responded really well. Another thing that we have to talk about today, finally, Thomas Partey actually scored from a shot outside the box. Madness. I'm gutted I wasn't there to witness it. It's almost like going back to the days of John Jensen, where it was a case of I was there when it happened, you know, when he scored. Obviously, Partey has scored before, but has there been a player in Arsenal's history that has taken more shots from outside the box without scoring a goal? It's just been a mad, mad run. But what a beautiful, beautiful finish from him, placed perfectly in the top corner. Really, really important goal. And when I look at the story of the first half and I consider that they went in 1-1 at half time, that must have been unbelievably frustrating in the stadium. But the team have come out and done the business. And that takes us on to Gabriel Jesus, man. This guy is just like, you know, every single time I see him doing what he does, I think to myself, last season would have been a completely different story. As usual, he's more alive than anyone else. He's in that box. He's an absolute fox in the box, and that does him a disservice because he's so much more than that as well. And he goes and scores a goal from 2 yards. But what I loved about the goal was the importance of it. Yeah, it was a scrappy goal. Yeah, it was a 2-yard open goal. That doesn't matter. What matters is everything before that, how switched on he is, how much he wants it. He gets there ahead of the defender. And, you know, if it wasn't for him being like alive in that moment, concentrated, we don't get that goal. And for a striker, you know, if you are that sort of player, which unfortunately last season Lacazette just simply wasn't, you will get 5 of your goals a season will come from moments like that. And when those 5 goals come, sometimes they're very important. Other times they could just be the 4th goal in a 4-0 win. This one was massively, massively important to turn the game for Arsenal. And then just the icing on the cake, Granit Xhaka's turnaround at Arsenal has been absolutely incredible. If you go back and watch that game where he got booed off and he jeered the crowd and he was coming off, many people, probably including myself, I can't remember, I'll have to watch it back, would have been saying this is his last game for Arsenal. But he has absolutely turned it around. And this is even off the back of, you know, not too long ago, rumours about him going to Roma as well. But one thing you have to rate about Granit Xhaka is that he does try. When he gets on the pitch, he does try. Sometimes he lets that get too much and he'll get a silly sending off and he'll let his team down. But this season, and for large parts of last season, he's been very, very good. And the goal that he got, credit to Mikel Arteta as well, because that's by virtue of him playing in that more advanced position where he's not as frail defensively and actually he can contribute offensively. A really important goal, wrapped up the win. And, you know, the last 2 games, that for me is the completion of Granit Xhaka's turnaround at Arsenal Football Club in terms of getting the round of applause and his name sung on the pitch after Brentford, and then topping that up by scoring a really important goal to kill the game in a North London derby. Absolutely buzzing. As I said in the first part of this video, in the first little segment, if your team's top of the league, like this video. Please do that because it helps with the algorithm. Let me know your thoughts on the game below as well, and whether you think I've called the game right. Looking forward to the next game, which is obviously Europa League, and then after that, another big test at home, Liverpool. But who can really say you're not confident? I mean, Liverpool struggling at home to Brighton right now, and Arsenal's home record is brilliant, absolutely superb. So listen, as far as I'm concerned, I want to see an Arsenal winning that game. And listen, I'll also include the fundraising link for this charity venture that I'm on with Muslim charity, trying to raise funds to help with the flood-affected areas in Pakistan. I'm going to be driving a rickshaw around. Stay tuned on my socials, Arsenal Moh on Instagram, and I'll be covering my trip there so you can kind of stay in touch with all of that. Until next time, see you later, top of the league.